let's get Michael Famaroti, who is a partner at Stairs Business. He's also an editor-in-chief at Stairs Business to talk to us via Skype. Michael, good morning. It's good to have you on the program.
Morning. Pleasure to be here as always.
Thank you. This is your first live television appearance since you left Vetiver Capital as the chief economist. So congratulations on your new adventure with your other folks at Stairs Business.
Thank you.
Great. It's good to have you. So let's talk about the effects, the road to 2015 hawkish regime, which the central bank says is going to retain, and there will be, it's not blinking as far as floating the Naira is concerned.
Yes, I think one thing that we all sort of need to come to acknowledge at some point is that regardless of whatever economic or FX management regime chosen, be it fixed or floating or managed floating, Nigeria's economic fundamentals and our current reserve capacity means that inevitably the Naira will lose value over time against the dollar, right? As soon as you have inflation at 12% and the US has inflation at 2%, there is natural pressure on the currency, right? And unfortunately, we haven't built our reserves up to the level that the likes of China or Russia have to be able to sustainably keep the currency at a desired level. So inevitably, be it a fixed or floating regime, we will eventually see Naira weakness. And we have obviously seen that over the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so the road to 2015, can you remap that for us briefly, Michael? How we got to 2015 in which Nigeria went down on its knees, on all fours, practically on all fours, when we talk about the FX market?
Yeah, I think it's, some would say it started in 2014. I think it started earlier, right? It started during the time, probably from 2010 to 2014, when oil prices began to really go up. And we had the opportunity to build up our external reserve buffers above even $100 billion. Unfortunately, we never took that opportunity, and I think our peak was something around 60 billion, which is really nothing compared to other countries, right? So when the oil prices hit in 2014, we saw a lot of capital flights and dollar scarcity. Now, the natural reaction to that in a free market is that if the dollar becomes more scarce, it becomes more expensive as well. We did see a bit of depreciation in, I think, October 2014, but perhaps because of the elections coming up in 2015, the CBN decided to sort of keep a hold on the currency. I remember at the time we saw countries from Russia to Kazakhstan to Angola, their currencies were falling significantly, yet somehow the Naira was stable, right? And that's because the CBN forced it at that level. And that was really the start of our foreign exchange crisis that killed us from 2015 to 2017.
So navigating, Michael, navigating the 2015-2016 FX season by creating the platform to trade FX, the NIFEX, the NAFEX, and what have you, this very crucial management by the central bank has tipped the country a little bit, isn't it?
Yes, so definitely the NAFEX implementation in April 2017 was a belated masterstroke, right? And you saw the effect it had on the capital markets in particular, right? In 2017, the Nigerian equity market gained over 40%, right? But at the end of Q1, the market was actually down, right? So the NAFEX really introduced a lot of investor confidence, right? And it gave us hope that we were slowly moving towards some sort of functional managed floating system. I think that over the last 6 to 9 months, we've probably taken a step back, particularly as oil prices have fallen.
Okay, so if you look at the last 4 years of the new FX management, do you think the banks, importers, producers locally, investors locally and outside have adjusted to the new managed float system, quote unquote, over the last 4 years. And now we're a bit on a trajectory that the central bank is sticking its nose in the door and saying, sorry, whatever everyone is saying, we're not letting the Naira go in the free 100% float.
Well, if there's something that Nigerians are good at, it's managing things, or managing as things are bad. The CBN's position is not new. From 2015, it has been clear that it prefers exchange rate stability almost at any cost. So it's not new, and I think every stakeholder that you mentioned is unsurprised by it. The stakeholder group that will probably be most disappointed are the foreign investors, right? Because they are very worried about currency devaluation if they bring in their money and they're trying to get it out. I think the group that is probably best placed to take advantage of the current regime is the banks, because what they tend to do is go short on the Naira, and when there's an eventual depreciation, then we see that their non-interest income shoots up. I mean, we saw that in, I think, 2016, 2017, when the currency moved from 195 to 305, and a lot of banks made FX revaluation gains.
Okay, this conversation is already out there on social media as we even before we came on air, and we just want to ask what's the position of our steers as far as floating is concerned, whether yes or no. This is what at Guide Investor Twitter handle says. It says a floating FX policy at this time will instigate capital flight and illegal arbitrage in the FX market, taking the country back to the dark ages of cutthroat FX black market.
That sounds more like what a fixed exchange rate does. Introduces a black market, arbitrage, and speculation.
So do you think what we've done over the last 4 years has been able to at least take some black out of the black market?
I think the NAFEX window has been the single most important policy achievement that the CBN has in the last 4 years. But I think that we should be looking to move towards a true, even if it's a managed float, a true market-based managed float system.
Okay, so do you think the local industries have benefited from the hawkish FX regime of Godwin Emefiele and his team over the last 4 years in terms of those interventions to SMEs, wholesale, retail, SMEs window?
I think so. Dollar liquidity is naturally important for manufacturers in particular. I do think, though, that in terms of priority, infrastructure and credits are a lot more important. And although the CBN can't do much on infrastructure, in terms of expanding credit or getting credit to manufacturers and small businesses, I don't think we've seen much progress in the last 4 years. And it's an issue that we continue to struggle with in Nigeria's financial markets.
Okay, final question. And this is putting you right in the middle of the current political hot water. Some politicians are calling for a full free float of the Naira and says if they're able to get to become the commander-in-chief, they would float the Naira. Should Godwin Emefiele listen to them or not?
I think the best advice I can give to him is what I will give to you as well. Listen to the person who you consider your boss.
That's a political answer. Thank you very much. Throwing it back at the political arena. Nice way not to get into the hot water.